Welcome to More Than a Few Words, a marketing conversation for business owners. This is your host, Lorraine Ball. What if I told you you could make your competitors irrelevant, that they'd never be a factor in your business again? Would I have your attention? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. And to have this conversation, I've invited Ann Carden to join me. Anne has more than 43 years of business, marketing, and sales experience. She has more than 32 years as an entrepreneur, and she has built 7 successful businesses, selling 5, and is the current owner of 2. And what she has learned about creating a business that is untouchable by the competitors is really her special secret that she's going to share with us today. Anne, welcome to the show.
Lorraine, thank you so much. I know we're going to have a blast. I'm so happy to be here with you.
I am so excited and I'm so intrigued by this idea of essentially creating a premium business that makes your competitors irrelevant. How do I do that?
Yes. So every single business, it does not matter if you're a small business, a professional business, every single business has the capability of something that is their sweet spot, their secret sauce, something they do different, better than anyone else. And the thing is, a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs do not think about really positioning themselves around that expertise and that skill set. And so, one of the things that I help people do is really find that sweet spot or that differentiator so that they can set their business up to stand out in a category of one where really they're untouchable with their competition.
Okay, I am intrigued and I think I have a good handle on what I do better than anyone else. Is there a process? Are there things that I can do to build that nice wall around my business?
Yes, absolutely. So figure out what that is and then get really positioned and then also know what is the thing that your customers or your clients most want to. So it's a combination of what you do really well and then also how you can position yourself different from your competitors, and it has to be something that will be relevant to your customers and clients. If it's not something they care about or they want, then you need to reposition. So I'll give you
Mhm.
an example of this. When I was working with small business owners, I do this with coaches and consultants all the time. But when I worked with small business owners, there was a plumbing company that I worked with, and we actually positioned them because they were a premium plumbing company. They were at the higher end of their market. We positioned them so that they one of the big pain points for people with plumbing companies is they don't show on time. People would take off work only to have the plumbing company not show, and so that happens a lot in that space, and we knew that was a pain point. So we also knew that they worked with people, most of their customers and clients were probably more at the high income, more in the high income level, and so them taking off work was very
Mhm.
costly, right? So we just played on that and we set up their business so that they could get there within 15 minutes of the scheduled time or that service call. That initial service fee that they would charge to go out on a call would be free. And I think they ended up only giving that away one time. So within a long period that I worked with them. And so they knew that they could make that happen with the way their business was structured. And that literally set them apart from everyone else because most people were just not that dependable, not that predictable. And so that was a big factor. But I've done it with coaches, consultants, professional services. We have to find that thing that your customers care about and also that thing that you're so good at. And we have to merge and innovate to position you in that
And
way.
as I was listening to you tell that story, the thing that struck me is it really started with looking at what your competitors didn't do well. And
Where's the pain point
where's
that people have with that industry? Yes.
Oh,
Hmm.
okay, so are there other ways? that you can approach this or maybe strengthen it? But are there other ways to approach kind of finding your unique and establishing that within your business?
Yeah, I think for everyone, if they really take a look at their business, whether you're solo or whether you have a team, what are the things that your team does really well? I mean, maybe customer service is something that your team is exceptional at. And so how can you now position yourself? The thing is you can back things up. I'll give you another example. I worked with an auto repair shop at one time, and the biggest pain points is people feel like they get ripped
Mhm.
off. People feel like, especially women,
Mhm.
right? You go to an auto repair shop, you don't know, and so they can just sell you a bill of goods. And so this particular owner said, "I know that my competition who's down the
Mhm.
street is not super honest." And so we couldn't just say that we're honest, right? We had to back it up. And so what he did was he actually, I mean, we put a review campaign in place where he went out and made sure that every single customer that he got reviews from and testimonials from backed up the fact that he was trustworthy, credible, and then we even had a tagline. This has been some years back. I'm trying to remember. Something about if it's not broke, you don't pay to fix it, or something like that.
Right.
Um, but it was very compelling and it really set him apart. And I mean, he exploded his business as a result of that because marketing, a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs throwing money behind marketing. But if they're not setting themselves apart or they're not established as different, they are going to burn up a lot of money in marketing. And when I have worked with whether it was a small business or an entrepreneur, a coach, a consultant, we've been able to actually cut their marketing cost while still maybe doubling or tripling or even more in their business. And so it puts more money in their bank account, more money in their
Well,
pocket.
and from the perspective of creating marketing and content for businesses that are really clear on what they're about, it
Hmm.
is so much easier because you've got that unique selling proposition. You've got that thing
Yeah.
that you can talk about that sets them apart. And really, you have to tell that story. It's not enough that you do it. I loved your example of the review campaign. Are there other ways
Hmm.
that you can tell that story and share that
Hmm.
so that becomes associated with your brand?
Yeah, so absolutely. I call it your positioning statement. A lot of people call it your unique value proposition. Um, have a positioning statement that really says who you're for, what you do, why you're different. That's really important. So that's the first thing. What is the
Mhm.
hook? What is the thing that people are going to see first? We know that you have 3 seconds to grab people's attention, right? And so you want to get that hook so that it pulls in the right people. It should also repel the wrong people. So if you want to be high end, you need to basically say
Mhm.
that in your marketing so that people understand that you're a more premium service. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have to be able to back it up with social proof. So testimonials are a great way, case studies are a great way of educating people through your process. So as a coach or a consultant, actually I just finished a video today where it's going to be automated, and I was on a whiteboard and I was walking people through exactly, how they can build a $500,000 business or beyond in 12 months. And so I educating and letting people see deep into what you do. Those are all ways to build the know, like, and trust and set you apart. Anyone can say they're great. Anyone can say they're the
Mhm.
best. I always have this little test. Who else can say that? If someone else can say that, it's not
Mhm.
unique, right? If your competitors can say that, if they can just knock you off so easy, it's kind of like the plumbing company. Everyone couldn't knock them off because everyone couldn't back
Mhm.
that up. And they would have been given away a lot of service calls, a lot of
Mhm.
service fees, right? And so when you find that unique place that you
Mhm.
can set yourself apart, I mean, it's a game changer for businesses. Did that
Oh,
answer your
absolutely,
question?
and you reminded me one of the things when I was running an agency, and because I'm an old sales girl and I was an inside salesperson, phones got answered on the first ring. Anytime we were in the
Yes.
building, they got answered by on the first ring, and the person who took the
Mhm.
call had to always, "How can I help you?" And it wasn't just a handoff because it was if you were talking to a person, they were gonna get you the information that you needed. And so we
Mhm.
could build that in an era when everybody else was using voicemail and push 3, push 2, push 1.
Mhm.
That became the proof of our customer-centric approach. And
I love that you're saying that. Do you know that that would be the easiest way for any business to set themselves apart in the marketplace
mhm,
today? Because everyone is so sick of
mhm,
automation and pushing all the buttons and not getting a real person or getting someone that they can't
mhm,
understand or whatever it is. That's a perfect
mhm,
example of a way to set yourself apart. Look at what the rest of the industry is doing. Look at Okay, so in my business, I help people get really, really high end premium clients. That is my whole
mhm,
sweet spot. And everything we do is around helping them elevate and get those really high end clients. I only know one or two other people that even play in what I call this blue
mhm,
ocean because most people don't have a clue how to
mhm,
do it. And so everyone is down here teaching people how to create low end offers, how to build sort of a low end, like get clients at lower fees. Well, that's easy to do. Or they're all working with everybody's working with startups. And so when you play at a higher level, you just automatically move into blue ocean, not the shark infested waters. So it's just a completely different way to build your business. And I learned this back in my very first
mhm.
business. I learned this model and I've carried it through. It didn't matter if it was a chiropractor that I worked with or a contractor or a coach or a consultant. I have used this model all the way through my 30 something years of entrepreneurship.
Awesome. Well, Anne, I love this. Thank you so much for sharing information with us today.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And if you're listening and you are interested in finding how to swim in your blue ocean, I'm going to recommend that you check out Anne's website. There will be a link in the show notes. It's annlcarden.com. There's also, for those of you that are coaches and consultants, she has a wonderful virtual 2-day event. There'll be a link to that as well. Thanks again, Anne.
Thank you.
And if you've enjoyed today's conversation and want to find other resources for your business, be sure to check out our toolbox. Look for MTFW wherever you listen to podcasts. This has been another episode of More Than a Few Words. Thanks for listening.